I'm a comedian. I don't want to be a politician. Politics is boring and everyone's ugly. But I have to stand against the SNP's hate crime bill. It could make my job illegal. It means that if you say something that someone perceives as abusive or intended to stir up hatred, no matter what you actually said or how you meant it, you can be prosecuted. Scotland has a proud history of iconoclastic, boundary-pushing comedians. Billy Connolly, Jerry Sadowitz, Frankie Boyle. They're all hilarious and have all said things that would breach this hate crime law. Connolly was condemned by the church when he joked about Catholicism. Today, if he joked about certain religions, he'd be arrested. As for Boyle's joke about Harvey Price, they'd probably have to bring back hanging. And promoters, venues, directors can all be prosecuted too. Piling on layers of stultifying self-censorship and sucking all the fun out of our Scottish state-sanctioned entertainment. And it's not just comedians who can get prosecuted. For the first time in history, private conversations in homes will be criminalized. Your children could be interrogated by the police and forced to testify against you because you cracked a joke or accidentally used the wrong pronoun for Sam Smith because you thought they looked like a man or voiced a disapproved opinion. Even if just a few years ago it was a perfectly normal point of view. The bill adds to the lengthening list of protected characteristics that you can't criticize, now including asexuals, polysexuals, pansexuals and even monosexuals. That's people who have sex with themselves. If you call someone a W cur, you've committed a hate crime. Even worse, this bill can be used maliciously. Anyone who wants to smear you can report you to the police. Even if they investigate and you're completely cleared, it's recorded as a non-crime hate incident that will show up on DBS checks by any prospective employers. This bill does nothing useful. It adds to the creeping sense of dread that good people feel, the anxiety that they'll say the wrong word and accidentally offend someone or breach some rule. This legislation will just be used as a politically correct stick to attack people and silence the SNP's opponents. It's the latest in a line of authoritarian legislation from the SNP. The Offensive Behavior at Football Act criminalized the song sung by thousands of football fans. The named person scheme let the state snoop on families and remove children from their parents. They were both scrapped. The hate crime bill should be scrapped too. SNP Justice Minister Humza Yousaf created this legislation because he thinks Scotland is a hateful land full of bigots. I disagree. Scotland is a famously warm and friendly country. Why do the SNP act as if Scots are all racist homophobes whose intolerance needs to be silenced? The only intolerance I see is from Scottish nationalists towards the English. The SNP use woke virtue signaling like this hate crime bill to look kind and tolerant while they're fomenting nationalistic xenophobia against their neighbours. The SNP are becoming like their English cousins, the BNP. Scotland has become a banana republic under the SNP, with no checks and balances on the party's power. MSPs need the same parliamentary privilege as Westminster MPs so they can expose corruption without fearing prosecution. And the Lord Advocate serves both as legal advisor to the SNP and as the head of the prosecution service. We've seen recently how that is an unacceptable conflict of interest when the SNP are involved in a prosecution. Free speech is a fundamental human right for good reason. We need the freedom to question, to criticize, to offend and be offended. Throughout human history, genuine progress has always come from people who challenge conventional thinking. Darwin saying we evolved from apes caused uproar. Galileo saying the earth went round the sun instead of the sun round the earth breached blasphemy laws and he was prosecuted. Even though he was correct. I'm not a career politician. I'm running solely to repeal this woke legislation. I don't even need to win. If I get just a few % of the vote across Glasgow, we'll have a mandate to repeal this legislation and reclaim Scotland's freedom.